My sister begged me to carry her baby, then walked away at 7 months saying she needed to focus on herself. I had the baby alone and gave her my last name. My older sister Willa couldn't have kids. She found out when she was 28 and it destroyed her. She and her husband Glenn tried everything for years, and none of it worked. When Willa turned 32, she sat me down at her kitchen table and asked me if I would carry a baby for them. She said I was the only person she trusted. She said it would mean everything to her. She said she'd cover all the medical costs and that Glenn was on board and that they'd already talked to a doctor about how it would work. The baby would be theirs biologically. They'd use their egg and his sperm, and I'd just be the one carrying it. I was 27 and single and healthy, and I loved my sister more than anyone, so I said yes. I didn't even think about it for more than a day. My mom Alma cried when we told her. She said it was the most selfless thing she'd ever heard, and that she was proud of both of us. The process took a while. 2 rounds didn't take. The 3rd one did. When the test came back positive, Willa screamed so loud, Glenn came running in from the garage thinking something was wrong. The first few months were fine. Willa came to every appointment. She'd hold my hand during the ultrasounds and cry every time she heard the heartbeat. Glenn was there for most of them too. He'd bring me food after and check in on me during the week. I was sick for almost the entire first trimester, and Willa stayed at my apartment twice to take care of me. It felt like we were doing something real and important together. Then around month 4, Willa stopped coming to appointments. She said work was busy. She said she'd make the next one. She didn't. Glenn started coming alone, and he was quiet in a way that made me nervous. I asked him if everything was okay, and he said things at home were complicated. I asked Willa directly, and she told me to stop worrying, and that she and Glenn just needed space. By month 5, Willa told me she and Glenn were separating. She said it had nothing to do with the baby, and everything to do with them not being able to stand each other anymore. She said the plan was still the same. They were still going to raise the baby together even if they weren't together. She said lots of people do it. I believed her because I had to. At 6 months, Willa filed for divorce. Glenn moved out of the house and into an apartment across town. He stopped coming to appointments. He stopped texting me. Willa came to one more ultrasound and spent the entire time on her phone. When the doctor told us the baby was a girl, Willa looked up from her screen and said, "Cool, that was it. Cool." I went home that night and sat on my bathroom floor and just stared at the wall. I was 6 months pregnant with a baby that was starting to feel like nobody wanted. At 7 months, Willa called me. She told me she'd been doing a lot of thinking and that she wasn't sure she was in a place to be a mom right now. She said the divorce was draining her and that she needed time to focus on herself. I asked her what that meant for the baby. She said she thought maybe I could keep her for a while until things settled down. I asked her what a while meant. She said she didn't know. I called Glenn. He didn't pick up. I called him again the next day and he answered and told me he wasn't in a position to take a baby either. He said the divorce was costing him everything and that he could barely afford his apartment. He said he figured Willa would handle it. I told him Willa just told me she wasn't handling it. He went quiet and then said he was sorry and that this wasn't what he planned. I called my mom. Alma told me to give Willa time and that she was just overwhelmed. I told her Willa didn't sound overwhelmed. She sounded done. Alma said I was being harsh and that my sister was going through the hardest time of her life. I told her I was 7 months pregnant with a baby I agreed to carry as a favor, and both of the people who asked me to do it had just walked away. Alma said she'd talk to Willa. She didn't, or if she did, it didn't change anything. I had the baby alone. My friend Josie drove me to the hospital and stayed the whole time. Willa didn't come.